I collapsed during a work presentation. Paramedics called my family, no one answered. That night, my sister posted, "Family, no drama." 4 days later, my dad begged me to pick up. You know that feeling when your entire world just crashes around you, but you're too stunned to even scream? That's exactly how it felt. I was literally fighting for my life in a hospital bed, barely conscious, and my own family was out there celebrating, posting on social media, and mocking me behind my back, all while trying to steal what little I had left. It all started in a blur. One moment, I was giving a presentation at work, the bright lights, the faint smell of carpet glue, someone's cloying cologne, and the next, the floor was rushing up to meet me. I remember black edges around my vision, hands on my chest, a voice telling me to stay with them. I barely did. When I came to, I was in a hospital room. That sterile, iodine plastic smell, the rhythmic beat that makes time crawl. And 4 was taped to my arm, pulling at my skin. My blazer was folded on a chair, looking utterly alien, like it belonged to someone else. A kind nurse adjusted my drip and asked, "Any family I should notify?" My voice felt like sandpaper. "They already tried," I whispered. She paused, her eyes full of a gentle pity, before asking about my pain level. "Enough," I said, reaching for my phone with a trembling hand. She tapped the screen for me, and a cascade of notifications spilled out, calendar reminders, app updates, a coupon for a sandwich. But nothing. Nothing from them. The paramedic hadn't lied. They'd called every number, and no one answered. I slept, or maybe just drifted. Woke up to a technician replacing sticky pads on my chest. Mild cardiac event, they said. Mild, I couldn't even sit up without the room spinning. That night, I unlocked my phone again. One new tag. My sister. A photo of her with my parents, laughing around a backyard table. A ring light glow. Matching sweaters. And the caption. Celebrating family without the drama. The date stamp was today. The hospital had shown me the call logs, they knew the paramedics had called. They knew I was here. And they posted that. They tagged me, like it was some sick joke. I didn't comment. I just turned the phone face down and listened to the monitor keep its cold, steady beat. Someone laughed in the hallway, far away, like a TV in another apartment. The next morning, a resident breezed in, rattling off some medical jargon. Stress probably played a role, he said, too casually. You need rest. Set boundaries. He had no idea. Boundaries in my family? That just meant you were selfish. I drifted in and out, drank bad hospital water. The nurse offered to call them again. Don't, I said. Are you sure? She asked, her voice softer this time. Yes, I insisted. Day 4. The afternoon light made the room feel like a DMV waiting area. I picked up my phone, my thumb hovering over the screen. It buzzed so hard, I dropped it. 73 missed calls. My sister, my mom, my dad. A cluster of texts loaded all at once, like a dam breaking. My dad's message blared, "Pick up. This is bigger than you realize. It's serious." Bigger than what? Bigger than the ambulance? Bigger than the EKG still taping my chest? I opened the message thread. Are you okay? No. What happened? No. Just frantic demands, pick up. It's serious. I scrolled up in the group chat. Photos of a charcuterie board. A boomerang video of champagne glasses clinking. A selfie with the caption, "Blessed." And there it was, my name, tagged under a photo of a cake. They'd even left a laughing emoji on my tag. They love their little jokes, especially when someone else is footing the bill. Out of pure reflex, like touching a bruise, I tapped my banking app. The screen loaded a list of autopays and shared accounts. Their names. Their lines. Their plans, their subscriptions, their emergencies, all flowing through my accounts. I was their quiet sponsor. The nurse came back, holding a cup of ice. Someone texted again, she said, nodding at my phone. Who? I asked. Dad. What did he say? She read it gently, as if quoting a doctor's order. It's serious. And that's when it happened. Something just clicked into place. Not a scream, not anger. Just a dead calm. A door closing, without a single slam. I typed nothing. I watched the heart rate number blink on the monitor, a small green metronome that didn't care about family posts or missed calls. I turned the phone over and let it buzz against the plastic tray. No apology. No how are you? Just panic. Not for me. For access. I breathed in, then out. I looked at the tape, the bruise forming under it. I looked at my folded blazer, at the presentation notes I'd never finish. And then I looked back at the banking app, at all those names hanging off my accounts like unwanted ornaments, at the manage buttons I'd never dared to press. The nurse dimmed the lights. Try to sleep, she said. I will, I replied. But I didn't. I lay there, and I started making a list in my head. Not of excuses, not of speeches. Of switches. If it's serious, I thought, good. I'm serious, too. The night shift hummed. Tape on my arm. Heart monitor keeping time. I opened my laptop and typed a title in a blank note, shut down. I wasn't writing speeches. I was writing steps. Freeze every secondary card. Close the joint checking. Remove my card from all autopays. Change every password. Move payroll to a new bank, under a trust. Notify providers. I am withdrawing authorization. Put a fraud watch on anything with my name. I started with the bank app's security menu. Secondary card cancelled. Joint account closed. Streaming, gym, rideshares, all removed. Email, bank, phone carrier, changed. Credit bureau fraud alert filed. Flagged. There was no anger. Just the crisp, clean click of doors locking. My phone buzzed on the tray. I flipped it face down and kept going. Then the door opened. Grandpa. He walked in, wearing that same windbreaker he'd had since I was a kid. He didn't hug me. He pulled a chair close and looked at the screen. List, he said, simply. List, I confirmed. He nodded. Breathe while you type. We worked. I'd read account names, and he'd read confirmation numbers aloud so I could paste them into the note. It felt like taking inventory after a flood. I called the bank's fraud line. A woman verified me twice. Reason for freeze, she asked. Unauthorized use by third parties, I said. Relationship? Family. There was a pause. Then, a quiet understood. She issued new numbers. Overnight delivery, no forwarding. I had her add a note, do not reauthorize secondary users without written consent. She read it back to me. Anything else, she asked. Yes. Block cash advances and person-to-person pulls from the old accounts. Done. Grandpa slid a pen onto the tray. Write the date next to each step, he said. Paper remembers differently than screens. I wrote dates, times, initials for every representative. 2 more calls. Insurance provider, remove me as payer for a policy on a vehicle I don't drive. Utility company, revoke the backup card on file. Both reps tried the same script, are you sure? It may interrupt service. I said yes. That was the point I emailed my HR rep from the hospital room. Subject, direct deposit update. Body, new routing details attached. Please confirm receipt. Footnote, replace emergency contacts with one name only, Grandpa. HR replied in 9 minutes. Confirmed. Tomorrow's transfer will route to the new account. Emergency contacts updated. Grandpa leaned back. What about medical access? I opened a second list, access control. Remove all relatives from clinic portals. Set two-factor authentication. Put a note on my chart, information only to patient and listed proxy. I called the hospital desk. Hi, I need to revoke all verbal permissions. The clerk asked for my code word. I gave it. Any exceptions? One, I said. My grandfather. She added the note. You're all set. Grandpa watched me type. Lawyer, I said. He called his guy. Put him on speaker. A calm voice. No fluff. He asked 3 questions. Who has used your money? Where are you listed? Who believes they speak for you? I answered. He answered back with actions. Tonight, I'll draft a cease and desist prohibiting contact with your providers. We'll file fraud watch notices with each bank and a notice to any landlord where your name appears. We'll add a property transfer block. If any asset you've co-signed tries to move, it freezes. Payroll's already moving. Good, I said. We'll create a small holding trust for incoming deposits. New bank, new routing, no shared access. I'll send the documents to your email in 15 minutes. He did. We e-signed. Grandpa checked each box before I clicked. The phone vibrated and vibrated. Dad, Mom, Ava. I didn't answer. I kept the note open and added one more item: document everything. Screenshots, email receipts, call logs. A folder named Proof. The doctor came by to check the monitor. He glanced at the laptop. Work housekeeping, I said. Try not to spike your heart rate. I'm lowering it, I replied. He smiled in a way that said he didn't understand, but he wouldn't argue. At noon the next day, the first real shock hit their side. I know because my voicemail filled in minutes. I didn't listen. I let the transcripts populate. Ava, my card isn't working. The rent portal says decline. I need you to fix this. Mom, the pharmacy says the backup card failed. They can't release my meds. Can you call them? Dad, pick up. We need to coordinate. You can't shut down without a transition plan. Transition plan, like I owed them a handover. I typed instead of talking. Notify landlord, I am not party to Ava's lease. Remove my email from her emergency contact form. Request written confirmation of removal. I sent the emails. I CC'd the lawyer. He replied, received. I'll follow with certified letters. I opened my old Venmo and PayPal accounts and closed them. Closed the backup checking I'd forgotten existed. Moved what little was there to the new bank and set the old one to no external transfers. Cancelled, removed, changed, flagged. Grandpa left to get coffee. When he came back, he brought a small notebook. Write one sentence you can say if they corner you on the phone, he said. No improvising. I wrote, all financial access is revoked. Do not contact my doctors. All communication goes through counsel. He nodded. Say only that, then hang up. The hospital discharged me that afternoon. Grandpa drove. I left with paperwork, a bruise, and that notebook in my pocket. At home, I placed my old wallet in a drawer and slid the new card into a small zip case. New bank app on the front screen. Old bank app hidden 3 swipes over. I called Ava once, not for a fight, but for the script. She picked up mid-cry. Finally. Do you know what you've done? I can't. All financial access is revoked, I said. Do not contact my doctors. All communication goes through counsel. You're ridiculous, she spat. You're punishing us. Click. Dad called. I let it go to voicemail. The transcript popped up. You are jeopardizing your mother's health and your sister's housing. We can't do this right now. We need a plan. I filed it under proof. Mom texted, please don't be cruel. I'm scared. Then, 1 minute later, send me the new card just for the pharmacy. After I pick up, we'll talk. I archived it. Then I opened my pharmacy account and removed her name from every single field. The lawyer emailed, restraining language ready, letters sent, a standing notice to the hospital system. He attached a simple line I could copy-paste, to whom it may concern, I revoke any previous permissions for names. Medical information is restricted to me and my designated proxy, Grandpa's name. Any contact attempts should be documented and forwarded to counsel. I pasted it into my notes. HR confirmed the paycheck reroute again. All set. Next cycle hits the new account. I thanked them. I moved their email to a folder called Safety. That night, I turned off the ringer and left the phone across the room. I sat at the table with the notebook and made a final pass through the list. Credit freeze at bureaus. Done. Two-factor on email and bank. Done. Remove shared cloud albums. Done. Cancel the temporary joint. Done. Newsome ordered. Done. Proxy set. Done. I didn't post anything. I didn't subtweet. I wasn't trying to win an argument. I was pulling the plug on a machine that ate me alive. The next morning brought the first real escalation. A call from the clinic front desk. A woman is here claiming to be your sister. She says she's your medical proxy. She isn't, I said. You have the note? We do, the clerk confirmed. Security is escorting her out. I added a line to proof, time, date, attempted impersonation. At noon, the bank's security team called me, not the other way around. We detected multiple authorization attempts on closed instruments. Do you want to file an incident? Yes, I said. They read back IP addresses and device types. They placed an internal watch on my profile. Any attempt from those devices would triple lock. Grandpa folded his arms. Breathe, he said. I did. Then I opened a new note titled, What Stays? It was short, my bills, my health, my work, people who showed up. No speeches, no moralizing, just scope. By evening, the group chat lit up with a message from Mom, let's be adults and talk. No mention of hospitals. No apology. Just a reset request, back to the old rules. I muted the chat for a year. I turned on the kettle and waited for it to click. The apartment was quiet enough to hear it. This wasn't revenge. This was maintenance, long overdue. The house looked the same from the street. Inside, the breakers were off. They didn't slow down. They pivoted. 2 days after I cut the lines, a courier showed up at my door with a white envelope. From counsel, he said. Inside, a notice of intent to pursue emergency conservatorship. The language was clean and sharp. Claims of erratic financial behavior, possible cognitive impairment following a cardiac event, and concerns from immediate family. The goal was obvious, restore access. I forwarded it to my lawyer. He called within 10 minutes. They're trying to beat you to the courthouse, he said. We'll file a preemptive reply with doctor statements, employment verification, and a notarized declaration from you. Grandpa faxed whatever. Needed faxing from his kitchen like it was 1998. My doctor wrote a line I keep rereading because it's so simple, patient is oriented, competent, and making reasoned decisions. HR sent a letter, active employee, voluntary medical leave, returning as planned. We attached logs, screenshots, timestamps. The hearing never even made the docket. Their lawyer withdrew. Mine sent a cease and desist barring them from contacting providers or presenting themselves as proxies. 1 page, 3 sentences. While the legal door closed, the PR door opened. Mom posted, please keep our family in your prayers. We're dealing with something difficult. No names, no details. Ava reposted it with a broken heart emoji and the words, some people lash out when they're hurting. Comments rolled in, you're so strong. Family first. He'll come around. A friend from high school DM'd me a screenshot. "Is this about you?" she asked. I didn't answer. 10 minutes later, she sent an old tag from the day I collapsed. Celebrating family without the drama. Side by side with Ava's pity post caption. So, where was this energy when he was in a hospital bed? That took off. People dug. The internet has a mean talent for timelines. They found the backyard photo, the charcuterie board, the tag under their jokes. The brand collabs on Ava's page. It turned quick. Yikes. The math isn't mataying. This looks like exploitation. Ava locked her comments. Then she disappeared the feed. Dad called twice. Then HR at his firm called him. I know because he left a voicemail, tied his piano wire. You've embarrassed this family. You've caused real damage. He never once said my name next to the words, "Are you okay?" Later, a cousin texted me that he'd been placed on leave. Cousin added a shrug emoji, like that softened anything. Ava tried a last-minute reconciliation arc. She recorded a shaky video at dusk. Makeup smudged. Hoodie up. Mental health is complicated, she said. We're not perfect. We're trying to help my brother, but he's pushing us away. We forgive him. She never said, what for? The comments split. Half sympathy, half smoke. Someone pasted my mom's prayers post under Ava's video and asked, "Is this about the same brother you tagged during Family Day without the drama?" Another posted the photo of my name under a sponsor sticker. Brands started quietly untagging her. 2 unfollowed on the same afternoon. Small tremors, real consequences. Then came performance art. A staged album on Facebook. My parents and Ava in front of their house with a rented U-Haul, boxes labeled kitchen, memories, hope. Caption, starting over hurts, but family is forever. We're keeping a room ready. In the last photo, Ava held a framed picture of me at age 9, a bowl cut and missing tooth. Under it, come home. It felt like ransom by nostalgia. I didn't comment. I documented. My lawyer texted, "Do not engage online." I replied, "Wasn't planning to." I posted one thing. A photo of an empty kettle on my stove with the caption, "Restraint isn't silence. It's discipline." No tags, no thread. Said it and forgot it. The next shift came through the bank. Security called me before I called them. We flagged a series of attempts to authorize a transfer from an inactive backup account. The agent said, "Device matches one used on your profile in the past." Name on the request? I asked. She gave it. I wrote it in my notebook. Date and time. I filed a police incident. Not charges, not yet. Just a fraud report with the printout attached. The bank added an internal note, autolock on any future attempts from listed devices. Quiet tripwire. That night, Mom texted me, part legal, part plea, "We can fix this as a family." You made your point. We need to coordinate bills until we transition. I saved it to the folder called Proof and muted her thread for a year. In the background, little details started breaking. Ava's landlord sent an email to the emergency contact on file, me, about unpaid rent and a pending notice to quit. I forwarded it to my lawyer with 2 words, "Not mine." He replied with a formal letter to remove my contact, referencing their earlier threat of conservatorship. Landlord acknowledged removal within an hour. A neighbor told Grandpa he'd seen Dad loading a filing cabinet into his truck at night. Grandpa raised an eyebrow. "Let him file," he muttered. We had already placed a property transfer alert with the county for anything tied to my name. If they tried to move paper I'd co-signed, it would freeze automatically. Procedure, not drama. A cousin, one of the few who sits out of the performance, called to say, Mom was telling people I'd had a breakdown. He sounded tired. "I don't know why she's doing this," he said. "Because access is gone," I replied. He sighed. "You want me to pass anything along?" No, I said. There's nothing to pass. The hospital mailed me a formal confirmation. Proxies revoked, portal locked, except for me and Grandpa. It felt like a small fence in a huge field. I put the letter in a folder labeled safety next to HR's note and my direct deposit confirmation. Paper is clean. Paper doesn't argue. A week in, the group chat went from frantic to empty. The last message was Mom's "Let's talk like adults." It sat there under a photo of Sunday candles and a caption about soup. No one liked it. No one wrote back. I archived the chat. The old me would have drafted a long message explaining everything. The new me? A single sentence: all financial access is revoked. Do not contact my doctors. All communication goes through counsel. I kept my phone on low. I learned to let the kettle click when it's ready without standing over it. I kept making lists, not to fantasize about revenge, but to tie off threads. Remove my email as recovery on their accounts. Done. Lock old cloud albums. Done. Newsome picked up. Done. Address change filed. Done. The quiet didn't feel empty. It felt accurate. When noise bubbled up, another anonymous number, another vague post, I didn't run toward it with a fire extinguisher. I wrote down the time, took a screenshot, and put it in proof. There's a moment I keep replaying, only because it proves the point. Grandpa and I were in his kitchen. He poured coffee. My phone lit up, face down, and then went dark again. He said, "You don't have to look." "I'm not," I said. He nodded. Good. The machine was off. They kept flipping the switch on their end and wondering why the lights didn't come back on. And you know what? That's not my problem anymore. It was a brutal, shocking wake-up call. My body collapsing was just the start. The real collapse was the one where I realized my own family saw me as a resource to exploit, not a person to care for. But through that betrayal, I found an incredible strength. I built a fortress of paperwork and legal action, with my grandpa as my rock. I cut every single tie that bound me to their chaos and entitlement. Now, my life is quiet. It's clean. My bills are paid by me, for me. My health is mine to manage. My home is my sanctuary. I learned to let the kettle whistle on its own, to not rush into every crisis, especially not theirs. This wasn't about revenge. This was about survival. And let me tell you, survival, it sounds like this. It sounds like peace.